Great morning. Great morning. Come on in, you guys. Come on in. Great morning. While you guys are coming in, I'm going to go ahead and put on my do not disturb. And share. How about that? And great morning, April. Great morning, Elvaline. Y'all do me a favor. Share, share, share. I'm going to share while you guys are sharing. All right. Thank you, April, for sharing. Hey, Christina. Hey, Summerlin. Great morning, great morning, great morning. You all listen. Look, there is so much going on in the spirit realm. And y'all, I'm gonna multitask just a little bit. There's so much going on in the spirit realm, and I need you all to be aware of that. And I also, I need you to be aware of the significance of taking care of your body when there's a lot going on in the spirit. My hair just falling all down, y'all. Jesus. Because the enemy, when God is up to his greatest work, the enemy is going to try to distract you. One of the ways that he'll distract you is through your health. He'll distract you through your relationships with other people. He'll distract you through, oh my goodness, so many things. Your past traumas, all of those things will be used by the enemy to distract you right when God is getting ready to do some of his best work. Now, the question is, are you going to allow the distraction? I didn't bring my creamer. Hey, brother, how you doing? Are you going to allow the distractions to prevent you from tapping in to be able to receive all that God has for you? Now, look, yesterday, baby, something happened in the spirit realm that really shifted a lot of things in our lives. There's something that happens when you give God a complete yes. You can't, like, a complete yes to God is going to uproot anything that needs to be uprooted. It's going to reveal anything that needs to be revealed in you, in others, in your situations, in your business, in your life, in your spiritual life, in everything about your life. Like literally everything and anything that needs to be uprooted, to be exhumed from the grave, right? It's going to happen, right? Now, listen, I done got started already. Listen, get you alive, because you're going to need it. You're going to need it, because by the time I get through, some of y'all might be mad with me. But get you alive so you can balance out your hormones and your mood, so that when you hear what the Lord is saying, you can receive it the way that it is intended, so that you can grow and become who he needs you to be. So let me pour this up. Oh, goodness, y'all. So here's to not fainting in the midst of whatever you face. Cheers. My God, today. Bae, I got you. Whenever you ready. Yeah, I did 2 shots, y'all. Don't judge me. I've been up with children. So listen, this morning, the word that he put in my spirit was faint not. Faint not. It's easy to faint under the weight of pressure. It's easy to faint under the weight of life happening. Not being able to control things that you want to control. Dealing with challenges. Yesterday we had to take the girls, we had to take Brooklyn to urgent care, and we discovered she had strep throat, right? So in the midst of everything that's going on in our lives, we've got a sick toddler, right? And because we've got two of them, there's the chance that the other one may get sick too. Although the doctor's like, well, normally children under 2, I'm thinking to myself, this girl turned 2 in September. Look, whatever it's going to be, it's going to be. But you can't faint under the weight of stuff. Everything that happens for a reason. Everything that happens has purpose. And everything that happens for you and not to you. So when you understand that for real, I'm not talking about understand it with your mind. I'm talking about like you really and truly believe that nothing happens without purpose in your life. There's nothing that catches God off guard. There's nothing that God didn't know. There's nothing that God could not have prevented if he wanted to prevent it. Listen to me. We will be so quick, and I said this yesterday because we're quick to do this. We will be so quick to say we misheard God. Well, God must have not said that. Why? Because it don't look like what you thought it was going to look like. It's not working the way you thought it was going to work. So now God didn't say it. No. Listen, I don't know what life y'all are living, but the life that I live and the life that I've been living and the life that has gotten me to where I am right now is one replete with things where God told me to do something. And then it seemed as though he just changed his mind, which he didn't change his mind, but he knew he couldn't trust me with all the information. God, I'm talking about me. I ain't talking about nobody else. I'm talking about me. God couldn't trust me with all the information because I would have pulled an April Green Anderson on God and said, I know you lied. Who? I'm not going to do that. Think about it. God had me remarry my third husband. So he became fifth third. Now look, it wasn't that, I was so madly in love with him. I wasn't. I wasn't. It wasn't even that we were dating and God said, yes, remarry. No, I was trying to give him to somebody else. Angel number 122. He was mad at me and talking about me on Facebook. Like all of these things. And I knew it. Like, it wasn't like I did not know it. I knew it. I knew he was dogging me out. I knew he was talking bad about me. I knew he was throwing shots at me. I knew it. And God said, marry him. What in the whole are you talking about, God? What do you mean I've done this? I don't want to repeat that. People kept saying it, and I said, oh, the devil is a lie. Oh, the devil is a lie, honey. And his cockeyed mammy. Oh, no, not me. I will not. I'm not going backwards. Oh, no, we're not doing that. That's not what we're doing over here. Oh, I did that. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. No, thank you. God said, yes, you are. Now to people that looked crazy, right? Because one minute he was dogging me out, the next minute he was posting that we were married, So there were women that he had been talking to that were like devastated because he had made promises to them and, all this stuff. Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The book of faces can be a dangerous thing, right? Hey, you'll bring me my creamer, please. You can take your shot first. But everything that happened for a reason. Now, let me tell you, let me fast forward. See, a lot of times you can't see stuff when you're in the midst of it, right? One thing that God does is when God loves you, he loves you. His love doesn't change, it doesn't stop. And he will use other people to affirm how much he loves you. That man had been praying to get his family back, and God gave him his family back. Now, what he did with what God gave him is a different story. You see, we got to know that when we ask God for stuff, then we need to be prepared to handle it the way God needs us to handle it. In the absence of that, the very thing that you ask God for to be a blessing, God will remove from your life. So you got to know how to handle it. But what we cannot do is faint in the midst of adversity. Ain't no fainting. Ain't no fainting. Faint not. I had to marry him. Fast forward, we ended up moving to Florida. We were homeless for about 6 months. All of this is God's plan. This is God's plan. Now, y'all, this wasn't my plan, because my plan would have been like, oh no, I'm going to go back home. Wait, who's going to do that? Literally, God would not let us leave. See, y'all want to get mad because God's plan don't look the way that you think it ought to look. It don't feel the way that you think it ought to feel, because there's adversity attached to it, because there's challenge attached to it, because you got to go through some stuff. Oh, y'all think, oh, well, was it God? Because I got to go through some stuff. No, go through the stuff that you got to go through. There's a reason. Listen, I would not be where I am today and who I am today if I had not gone through all of the adversity that I've gone through, because it's given me another level of strength, another level of wisdom. I'm less quick to just flip off at the mouth about stuff that I don't know what God is doing. Be careful with your mouth when you don't know what God is doing. Be careful. I've learned that. I've learned that the way God moves in my life, when I look at other people's lives, I'll be like, hey, I ain't got nothing to say. Listen, I ain't got nothing to say because I don't know what God is doing. And even if I do know what God is doing, sometimes I just got to shut up because God got to do his good work. See, we either want to take over what God is doing and rush it and push it and make it happen. Or we'll be like, oh, well, this is difficult, or, oh, this isn't right. So, oh, I'm just going to back up. Oh, this got too much challenge to it. Now, weight training requires resistance. If there's no resistance, it's not going to do what it's supposed to do. And guess what? When you want to build greater muscle mass, you have to use heavier weights. Am I lying? Y'all tell me. When you are engaging in weight training, when you want to build muscle mass, then you have to carry heavier weights. When you want to build lean muscle, you want to get lean, you use more reps, but you use lighter weight. Now, that's just based on my experiences, okay? Now, I could not have it all right, but y'all know what I'm saying. Okay? Thank you, brother. Listen, so what makes you think when you're getting closer to destiny and you need greater mass that you're not going to have heavier weight? Who told you that? They lied to you. I came to tell you the truth. Oh, you gonna have heavier weights and stuff gonna look real crazy. People gonna act a fool. You gonna think you crazy. You better go back to what God said to you, because you will begin to think that you're crazy, that you imagined everything, that God wasn't talking, that it must have been the devil. Like, we're playing so much on the devil that he don't have nothing to do with. This is not the season to faint. This is not the season to faint. I don't care what it looked like, what it feel like. I don't care what nobody else think. This ain't the season to faint. This is the season to press into God. Yesterday, I told you all that I would send you all your individual prophetic words. I couldn't even do it yesterday. I'm going to tell y'all something. Something happened in the spirit yesterday. There was something that broke loose in the spirit yesterday. And those of you who were here, those of you who watched, those of you who tapped in and participated in that, baby, if you gave God a yes, you can expect some hell to break loose, because God is going to, like, you're going to see some stuff, feel some stuff, know some stuff, like stuff is going to be revealed to you, and you're going to have to honor your yes to God. God, I still say yes to you. In the midst of it, I still say yes. Even though it don't feel good, God, I still say yes. Because God needs some people who are going to say yes and stick by their yes when the stuff hits the fan. You still going to give me a yes? Or you just said that because it was cute? Or you said that because you felt that in the moment? Faint not. Faint not. Faint not. If you're honest with yourself, there's some things that if God told you that you were going to go through this with your yes, you would have said, hell no. You wouldn't have just said no. You would have said hell to the now, to the now. That's what you would have said. That's what you would have said. That's what you would have said. I know you would have said it because there's times that I said it. I'm like, Lord, you should have told me this in advance, because if you told me this, honey, my whole response would have been different. Like, what? I'm gonna have. See, that's why God don't tell us everything. Because we'll not start. We'll not start. We'll not move. Y'all stop thinking that life is supposed to be easy and it's supposed to be simple, clear cut. I don't know what world y'all living in and who y'all been listening to, but they've been lying to you. You have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, run amok. No. God deals with all of us differently, but God knows us. He knows us. He knows how we think, how we move, our personalities. He knows that some of us, listen, I ain't talking about y'all. I'm talking about me. He knows that Dr. V, if it don't align with what I think should be happening in my life, I'm not getting ready to do that. I'm not doing that. God, you better get somebody else to do it, because I'm not going to do it. I'm not doing it. I'm good. I'm going to stay over here in the land of sin. I'll just stay right here. I'm good, honey. Listen, I'll take it. I'll take hell. It'll be all right. I don't want to be bothered with people. See, the Lord, look, let me tell y'all. Listen, I was so done with fooling with people and women. And I just was like, look, I'm good. I don't want to fool with no women. I don't want to fool with no women. They fickle. Yeah, listen, they funny acting. They be jealous. I don't have time for that. This is why I would always spend more time interacting with men than with women. Men tend to be more clear cut. Listen, you know, it is what it is. Listen, hey, look, women, you know, you got to try to discern their motives. You got to try to discern what's real and what's not. You got to try to discern, you know, if they are for you or if they're against you. Angel number 122. I'm gonna have to read that. You got to discern all this. I was like, I don't have time for women be petty. I don't have time for the pettiness of women. Because I know my petty's bigger than theirs, okay? The average woman, my petty's bigger than hers. And so then I'm going to be the mean girl. So I ain't got time to be the mean girl. Let me leave him alone. God said no. God said no. I said, listen, God, I've done this before. I don't want to let him in. I don't want to trust nobody. People be turning their back on you because you're going through. They want you to be superhuman. They want you to be the one that can do the things that they can't do. They can't do it, but they want you to be able to do it. And then they want to judge you when you can't. God, I'm not able. He said, no, you gonna do this. But he didn't do it all. Like, it just, It's a little bit at a time. Like I had to do this. Then 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 he got me to this place. Then it would start the ministry again. I wasn't thinking about starting no ministry again. I'm good. Let me just do my little drive-bys and go about my business. I'm not responsible for nobody. If I show up, I show up. If I don't, the world still will continue on. I don't have that responsibility. He was like, no. When I want to just stay online, I'll just be online, honey. I ain't got to have no physical building. We ain't got to do all of that. God said, no, you're going to have a physical building. Oh my God. Then I got to deal with it. You got to deal with the local people because it's fine while you online, but when you become, in a physical building, then it becomes competition. I ain't got time for all of that. But God has a plan for my life, and I can't pick and choose what parts of his plan I want to accept. I want to accept the husband, but I don't want to be in the church building. I don't want to do all that. No, you all of it. You got to do all of it. You got to do all of it. Kareem said, if I knew all he wants me to do before I agreed, I would have said no. Right. April said facts. Right. Jason said, you got that right. Right. Kareem said, when it's a wild ride, because it can be a wild ride. My baby said, if he told us everything, we would really be living willy-nilly because we know the end. Listen, I'm trying to tell y'all, faint not. Trust God. You're either going to trust him or you're not. Trust him to give you guidance even when you can't see. When you can't see clearly, that's when you really need to rely on him so that he can guide you. That's what he wants to do. He wants to guide you. He wants to help you get to where he's taking you. Angel number 122 signifies progression and change. Come on. Symbolizes harmony, purpose, and growth in life's journey. Hold on. This number underscores hold on. All right, let me read this. This sequence represents balance, unity, and progression. Its presence hints at impending transitions. The significance lies in its ability to guide individuals towards alignment, harmony, and growth in various facets of life. Therefore, the angel number 122 emerges as a beacon of hope and change. It means divine energies are aligning for progression and cohesion, trust in the journey and its purpose. It's an affirmation of one's spiritual journey being under celestial guidance and surveillance, which means that your angels are with you. Your angels are with you. God is with you. Listen, you are not alone. You don't have to feel like you're in this by yourself because you are not. This is a push towards spiritual growth and an affirmation of purposeful direction in your life. It serves as a gentle whisper from the universe, heralding transformation and the weaving of destiny threads. Okay, let me talk about this right here, because look, the weaving of destiny threads. Our destinies are intertwined with other people's. What does that mean? It means that there are some people who you can't get to your destiny without. And there's some people who can't get to their destiny without you. So there is this intersection of your lives, this interweaving that has happened, that is happening, that must happen in order for you to get to destiny. See, we think we can just go by ourselves. No, you can't go by yourself. No, you can't go by yourself. Listen, if it was up to me, the stuff that I do, I would just do it by myself because I can control me. I can control me. I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm not going to do. I know that I can. Listen, even in this business, my baby said, we gotta buckle down and faint not. That's right. So even in this business, you can't progress in the company in terms of rank without helping somebody else. Other people have to be progressing too. It can't just be, it's not just based on you and what you do. It's based on your ability to help other people or to align with people who are headed where you're heading and help them to grow and to accomplish their goals. You can't get there otherwise. Like you can get to a certain spot, and after that spot, baby, that's it. Now you gotta build with people. You can't do it by yourself. You gotta build with people. Oh, you can get to champion. You can get to champion without other people necessarily growing in rank. You can get to champion, but you'll be stuck at champion no matter how much volume you have if you don't have people on your team that are growing and hitting ranks. It's designed that way. It's designed so that there is a built-in necessity for you to assist others. If you're going to get to your destiny, there is a built-in system that requires you to help other people, to be connected to people, to be intertwined with people, because your destinies are intertwined. You may not understand all of it. It may not make sense, but it doesn't mean that it's not God. It simply means you don't understand yet. And you don't have to understand in order for God to be moving. I remember, and I'm going to share this with you guys. I've shared it before, but I'm going to share it again because some of you may not have heard it. I remember, so when people look at my husband and I, they say, oh, y'all look so happy. And we are. It don't mean we don't have friction. Don't mean that we don't have disagreements. Don't even mean that I might not raise my voice sometimes because something that he done said or did that got on my nerves, right? Okay. Don't mean that he shut down. Don't shut down. Don't mean none of that. Listen, I want y'all to hear me now. I remember we were planning a wedding. Y'all know he done proposed. We planning the wedding. We trying to get everything together. And, we hit some topics that were hot topics. They were triggers for me. They were triggers for him. And we were triggering each other. And listen, and I ain't got to be triggered too many times for me to be like, ooh, I'm good. I'm good. So this particular day, the triggers were triggering. And when we talked about it, I wasn't hearing what I wanted to hear. I wasn't hearing what I needed to hear for me to be untriggered. Okay. And I remember we were supposed to be looking at venues. Baby, I was so disconnected from that venue search. I was in my head thinking, I don't even think we finna have no wedding. I'm finna get a ring back, and I love the ring. The ring is amazing. It's beautiful. He did a great job with this ring. Now, he did his thing with this ring now. And this ring would have been right back in his hand. Angel number 122. It would have been right back in his hand. That's where I was. I was like, oh, no, this done. I'm done. I'm not going to be able to do this. He would call me. I don't have much to say. I ain't really talking. He nervous. You should be very nervous because I'm about to be like, I'm done and I'm out. And I remember, it's just why you got to listen to God. I remember one thing about my friends is this. My friends are always going to, because I got friends who hear from God. Like, they not going to just be on a bandwagon, right? They not going to just be on a bandwagon. You need some people in your life who won't be on a bandwagon, okay? And be like, oh, girl, if it was me, I would da-da-da-da, and I know he didn't. Because if he did that to me, then I would da-da-da-da-da, and girl, you need to da-da-da-da-da-da. I had to get real still. I had to get real quiet. And I remember I tossed and turned all night. I didn't really sleep. I got up the next morning. And I just was like, God, I listen, God, you already know what I've been through in my life. I do not want to go through another jacked up situation, God. I done fought too hard to be free from religion, to have this man put me back in bondage. God, I'm not willing to do that. I don't want that. God, I don't want that. And this is what God told me. I'm just going to tell y'all what he told me. God said, you didn't do this. Neither did he. He said, I put y'all together. Now, mind you, God had been talking to me all day. Because, I'm like, God, I don't know what this is, but I'm not feeling it. He said, listen. He said, I got a place I'm trying to get you, and I got a place I'm trying to get him. And I can't get you there without him, and I can't get him there without you. He said, listen, both of y'all, I have a place to get you, and both of y'all want to be married. So I'm killing two birds with one stone, and I'm putting y'all together because I know I can get y'all there together. I'm like, God, I don't know about this. This is too much of a conflict. Now, you know me. You know I'm free. You know, I'm not with all of that religious. I'm not with it. He said, you are going to do what I tell you to do because I know what you need, and I know where I'm taking you. Well, I don't like where you're taking me right now because, look, this is not, I don't like this. Went through the day. That night I went to bed. I was in Tampa. I was with the lady apostle. Went to bed, tossed and turned, woke up early, and God began to speak to me. And he said this, you're going to do what I said because I said it. And I said, well, if I'm going to do that, then I need to see and he needs to God said he don't need to do nothing. He don't need to do nothing. You need to do what I told you. And I was like, well, God, I just need to see. That'll help me. He said, I said what I said. I was like, well, first of all, why is you talking to me all hard? Because you know I don't like to be talked too hard. And second of all, why he can't just show me? He said, if he showed you, there's no faith required. Are you going to put your faith in me or in your ability to see something? Angel number 122. Where's your faith? You believe me? And I said, well, I don't know. I don't like this. I don't like it. He said, you don't have to like it. You just got to do it. Now, look, listen to me. If you don't do anything else, learn to listen to the voice of God, regardless of what anybody else thinks or says. People who know my husband know that my husband, you know, when we met, you know, he's pretty, you know, he was pretty rigid, pretty dogmatic about some things, right? And me, on the other hand, I'm very free. So they're like, I don't know how that's gonna work. I don't know how that's gonna work because you can't come at me any kind of way. I think I'm going to respond to that because the response you get won't be the response you desire. Okay. And people who know me know how free I am. And they're like, I don't know if he's going to be able to flow with you. You think he's going to be able to flow with you? Because you know you flow differently, right? God. Yes, baby, I am. Thank you for letting me be free. And thank you for walking in your freedom. And thank you for helping me gain more discipline. Because God knew that we needed each other. This wasn't a one-sided thing. It wasn't he needed me, but I didn't need him. No. We both needed each other. There were things that he had that I needed, and there were things that I had that he needed. And when God put us together, he began to create something that has transformed us both individually and collectively. If I had fainted at the triggers, I would have missed the blessings. Angel number 144. And this is what I'm going to tell you. And y'all do with this what you want to. But I am obligated to say these things. God might not give you what you want. Might not be in the package, the format, the way. It might not meet everybody's expectations of what they think you should have or how it should go. But just because it doesn't mean that God ain't in it. Doesn't mean that God doesn't have a plan. But in the midst of all of that, my husband had to grow and I had to grow. There was growing that I had to do. There are things that God has had to work on me with and still works on me with. We got to know our stuff. What is your stuff? What is the stuff that God is trying to deal with in you? What is it? What is that? Because that's what this is about. You can't get to destiny with that stuff. You got to face it. You got to deal with it. You got to be willing to look at you and deal with you. Angel number 144. This number signifies that the spiritual sphere supports and guides your self-discovery and your spiritual growth. It's a sign your angels are telling you that you are on the right path to keep going. It's a sign of determination and hard work. You cannot get to your destiny without some hard work. You cannot get to where God is taking you without going through some stuff. I'm telling y'all, you better start looking at you in any situation that arises. Look at you. Don't start by looking at the other person. Say, God, what are you trying to show me about me in this situation? It's so easy to make everything that happens in our life about other people and how other people have done us and disappointed us and mistreated us and lied to us and betrayed us. And it's easy. It's easy to look at other people. It's easy to look at other people. But you've got to look at you. Yes, y'all, I will be the first to admit that when stuff happens, I'll be like, well, God, and God said, don't worry about him. I got him. Let's talk about you for a minute. Angel number 155. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about you and what you're doing. Let's talk about how you're behaving. Let's talk about your mouth. Let's talk about your thoughts. Let's talk about your attitude. Let's talk about you. Let me and you talk about you. Me and him will talk. I'll talk to him about him. But let me talk to you about you. Let me talk to you about you. Let me deal with you. Anybody else that I need to deal with, I'll deal with them. But I'm talking about you. What is it in you that needs to be adjusted? What is it that you need to deal with? Talking about you. We don't want to talk about us. We don't want to talk about us. We want to talk about everybody else, but we don't want to talk about us. Angel number 155 is a message that new opportunities or new beginnings will soon present themselves. It's a powerful reminder from the divine realm that encourages us to stay open-minded. It signifies change, transformation, and spiritual growth. Suggests that you deserve some positive changes to take place in your life. Stands for success. Indicates you are a free spirit with free will to make decisions to create your own life, your own world. Serves as a reminder that change is inevitable and necessary for our growth and evolution. Do you get it yet? This is about you. Everything that's happening around you is about you. It's about you growing. It's about you changing. Are there other characters in the play? Absolutely. But you're the star. And that's the starring character. It's the main character, the leading man, the leading woman. You got to know it's time for some change to happen. It's time for you to grow. It's time for you to be stretched. And it's time for you to trust God for real. So, what are you going to do? Don't worry about nobody else. What are you going to do? Hear God for yourself. Because when you hear God for yourself, like nobody could have told me, literally, and I mean this, nobody could have told me not to marry my husband after God had that whole situation, sit down somewhere and marry that man. I'm like, well, God, but he needs to understand. And I'm not going to go back to that. And he said, you're going to do what I told you to do. You're going to do that. I'm just talking about how God talks to me. He might not talk to you like that, but he talks to me like that. No, you're going to marry him. If you don't see nothing, you're going to marry him. Thankfully, that day we had a conversation. That morning after my live, he got a little better understanding of me. He said, babe, I never want you to feel like you're in bondage. He said, I never want you to feel like that. That's not what I'm trying to do. But if he hadn't said that, I was still going to marry him. You got to trust God. Trust God to do what it is that he does best, and that's deal with the hearts of people. You cannot change someone's heart. You can't change someone's life. You can't change who they are. But what you can do is deal with you, change you. I want you all to make sure that you join us for our Sabbath worship service at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8:30 Central. God has given me a word. I'm excited about this word, and it's all about us growing up. And if you all are expecting anything other than grow the faith up from me, baby, you're going to be mad, because this is not about hype and hoopla. This is about getting to destiny. And the only way that we get to destiny is by growing the faith up. We got to. We got to grow the faith up. We have to. It's going to require a level of faith that you're not accustomed to walking in. And it's going to require a level of maturity that you haven't necessarily been operating in. It's some time for some of y'all to get off the tit, get off the milk, and eat some meat and stop falling apart at everything that happens in your life. Everything don't deserve a fall apart. Can you reserve the fall apart for the stuff that like really is life shattering? Because there's some stuff that ain't life shattering that y'all falling apart at. The light didn't turn green when I thought it should. What? Angel number 166. Means you can focus your mind on manifesting your desires. Manifesting is the process of bringing something into reality through your thoughts and actions. It's a message from your angels to keep your thoughts heavenward and positive and continue forward. The symbol stands for triumph. It is symbolic of your abilities for creativity and manifestation, production, creating. It represents success and leadership. This number is a sign. Hold on. This number signifies strong leadership, balance in all areas of life, and nurturing relationships. Your angels are trying to communicate with you that it is time to focus on your leadership abilities. You may have been neglecting your own needs and focusing too much on others. This number is a reminder that you deserve to be in charge and lead your own life. This is a reminder to focus your thoughts and intentions on your desires. You need to focus on your dreams and believe that they will come true. It represents divine guidance and spiritual growth. It's a reminder that you're on the right path, and your hard work will pay off in the end. It's a sign that you are aligned with your higher purpose and that your spiritual journey is leading you towards enlightenment. Charlotte said, I have some questions. Someone from my past done busted in my present. I feel like I should run. 166, I don't know if he is right for my thoughts and actions. Okay, well, that's an answer. Boom. And just like that, God answered the question. Listen, it's time to stop running, and it's time to stop fainting. Faint not. Don't faint. Don't quit. Don't give up. You're closer than you think. Literally closer than you think. There's a song that I absolutely love, and it says, you've done more than I ever expected. So much more than I ever expected. You've done more than I ever expected. And for me, that's the story of my life. God, you've done more than I ever expected. And I'm grateful. For those of you who are feeling the call, you know that you are being pulled towards the prophetic, that you know that God is requiring something of you that you haven't been able to give or ready to give. Listen, there's still some spaces for the prophetic boot camp. The prophetic boot camp launches October 30th. So y'all need to get registered. There's limited spots. Get registered. To register, you go to bit.ly/Dr. V Prophetic BC, bit.ly/Dr. V Prophetic BC. I'm telling you, this will change your life. It's a 12-week program. For 12 weeks, we're going to meet 2 hours a week. And that's the basic training. The VIP, you get those 12 2-hour training sessions and 6 2-hour VIP sessions. And then you also get 3 1-hour individual sessions. So, 12, 6, 3, okay? With the VIP. 1263 with the VIP. 1263 with the VIP. The VIP is $639. The general is $369. But you have the option of doing it with someone else, right? And when you do it with someone else, it reduces the price. The basic training is $639 for 2. Which is not a huge savings. I get that, right? But it's $639 for 2. And I think that's right. $639, I think. Y'all got to look at it. And the VIP is either $963 or $936, something like that. But it's going to be a combination of $369, okay? For the 2 of you together instead of $1,200. I'm just saying value. Okay. Listen, with that said, also, if you are feeling led to bless the woman of God, you can sow a seed at Cash App $DRV Johnson 777, Cash App $DRV Johnson 777. Know that I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Have an amazing, incredible, and epic day. Be absolutely and unequivocally blessed. Mwah.